Shell. I want to read a story for you today. We're going to read The Ox Cart Man. Are you ready? This is a great story. Okay. It's by Donald Hall and the pictures are by Barbara Cooney. Ready? Here we go. Ox Cart Man has extra pages. In October, he backed his ox up to his cart, and he and his family filled it up with everything they made or grew all year long that was left over. Can you see that? All the stuff, they loaded it up in their cart. Look at that beautiful land and mountain that they live on. He packed a bag of wool. I'll turn to this side, maybe you could see it better. He packed a bag of wool he sheared from the sheep in April. He packed a shawl his wife had woven on a loom, and on a loom from yarn at the spinning wheel. From a sheep she sheared in April. He packed 5 pairs of mittens his daughters knit, from yarn spun at the spinning wheel from sheep sheared in April. He packed candles the family made. He packed linen from the flax they grew. He packed shingles he split himself. He packed birch brooms his son carved with a borrowed kitchen knife. Look at that. You can see the brooms. You can see the wood that they tied up. You can see what the daughter did. You can see the animals. You can see him loading it and the stuff that the mom did. They're working together because they're a family. And families should work together. He packed potatoes that they dug from their garden. But first he counted out potatoes enough to eat all winter and potatoes for next spring, so he can make seeds. He packed a barrel of apples, honey and honeycombs, turnips and cabbage, a wooden box of maple sugar from the maples they tapped in March, when they boiled and boiled and boiled the sap away. He packed a bag of goose feathers that his children had collected from the barnyard geese. When the cart was full, he waved goodbye to his wife, his daughter, and his son, and he walked as his oxen had 10 days. Over the hills, through valleys, by streams, and past farms and villages. That reminds me of a song I know. I'll sing it for you at the end in case you want to hear it. If you like the stories, be sure to click the thumbs up and say you like it, and you can even subscribe so that you can hear more. Until he came to the Portsmouth Market. See that city? That's where he's coming with his ox cart. He's going to go all around the town. He sold the bag of wool. He sold the shawl his wife made. He sold 5 pairs of mittens. He sold candles and shingles. He sold birch brooms. He sold potatoes. He sold apples. He sold honey and honeycombs, turnips and cabbages. He sold maple sugar, and he sold the bag of goose feathers that his kids collected. Remember? Yeah, he sold all that stuff. Everybody liked it. He had good stuff. Then he sold the wooden box he carried the maple sugar in. Then he sold the barrel he carried the apples in. And then he sold the bag he carried the potatoes in. And then he sold his ox cart. Hi. Then he sold his yoke and harness. See, he made all that stuff, even the yoke and the harness. Let's see if we can get the light on there. Then he sold his yoke and harness with his pockets full of coins. He walked through the Portsmouth Market. He bought an iron kettle to hang over the fire at home, and for his daughter he bought an embroidery needle that came from a boat in the harbor, and that had sailed all the way there from England. And for his son he bought a barlow knife for carving birch brooms with, and for the whole family he bought 2 pounds of wintergreen peppermint candies. Then he walked home with the needle and the knife and the wintergreen peppermint candies tucked into a kettle, and a stick over his shoulder stuck through the kettle's handle, and the coins, and he still had coins left in his pocket. See? He was headed home. Walking down the road right there. Walking, walking, walking. Past the farms and villages, over the hills, through the valleys, by the streams, until he came to his farm, and his son and his daughter and his wife were there waiting for him. Look at the beautiful sunset. Do you ever see that when the sun goes down and the beautiful colors it leaves at the top? Usually oranges and pinks. So beautiful. He must have been walking a long time, huh? Because it was even nighttime. And his daughter took her needle and began stitching. And his son took the barlow knife and started whittling. And they cooked dinner in their new kettle. And afterward, everyone ate a wintergreen peppermint candy. And that night, the ox cart man sat in front of his fire, stitching a new harness for the young new ox. In the barn. The ox is in the barn. There they are around the campfire as a family. It's so nice. And he carved a new yoke, and he sawed planks for a new cart, and split shingles all winter. That's what he was doing. And while his wife made flax into linen all winter, and his daughters embroidered linen all winter, and his son carved Indian brooms from birch all winter, and everybody made candles. They're working hard. They work together. That helps so much when everybody works together. And in March, they tapped the sugar maple trees and boiled the sap down. See, there's all the maple trees. And they tapped them. You see the little buckets they have? They put little taps on them. And the dad is working, and the mom is cooking it down, and the daughter is bringing the baskets, and the other daughter is... Oh, wait, that's the son bringing a basket. And in April, they sheared the sheep, spun the yarn, and wove it into wool. See that? They're shearing the sheep. That means they're cutting that extra fur off of them. And then they make them look like this. They start out like this, and after they get sheared, they look like that. And then they spin that wool into yarn. And in May, they planted potatoes, turnips, cabbage, while apple blossoms bloomed and fell, while bees woke up, starting to make new honey. Right there. See the apple blossoms? Don't you love when the trees get flowers on them? That's going to be happening soon, in just a month or two, depending on where you live. And geese squawked in the barnyard, dropping feathers as soft as clouds. See that? The geese are in the barnyard. Well, I promised you that I would sing you this song. It's a funny song called Here Comes the Ox Cart. Here comes the ox cart, oh how slow. It's pulled by an ox, of course you know. The wooden wheels creak as they roll along. Creak, 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 creak is their song. Do you like it? Well, I was just noticing something. If you look above my head, you can see a picture. I'm going to show you that picture better because it kind of reminds me of our story. Do you see it? This is a picture. It's a watercolor painting that my husband got to do with his mom when he was a little boy. Why, she helped him a lot, of course, but he was only 5 or 6 years old when he helped her paint that picture, and I have just loved having it in my house and every house we live in. So now I have it in my office. Isn't it beautiful? And he even signed his name up there. But I thought it was like a little country house, like the story that we were just reading with the trees in it. And it even has the path that maybe the dad walked down. It's a lot like that story. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I hope you liked this story, and I hope that you will come back and listen to more, because I love to read to kids. So come and see me again, okay? Bye-bye.